Monday. I cannot believe it's Monday already. Gonna wait for some folks to come on in. Tonight we are talking about the Conscious Parent book. Hello, Janelle. Thanks so much for joining. Gonna wait for a couple of people to pop in. Tonight we're talking about the Conscious Parent. We are actually on chapter 11. Hello, Terry. And since chapter 11 was so meaty and had so much information, I decided that we would break it up into two sections and talk about it again tonight. Hi, Honestly Catchy. I love you. Thanks for coming in. So happy you are here. You guys, right now, what you'd like to do, it'd be great if you would share, and invite all of your followers, invite on Twitter, invite on Facebook, and of course here on Periscope. Hello, Catchy, how are you? So tonight we are talking all about the effect of doing on our children. Hello, Time Starved. I love that handle. It's so appropriate given the topic tonight. What you guys are looking at is my new Mama Love Planner, which also has to do a lot with overscheduling and being, and doing. Yes, Mama Love Planner. So I'm going to flip this around. Hello. Yes, Catchy. I have developed a Mama Love Planner, which is all about helping mamas get more self-care time. It's actually designed completely with mothers and mothers-to-be in mind. Yes, yay. Hi, Jag. Thanks for joining. And so it helps mothers schedule self-care time both for their spirit, which is first, their mind and their body, as well as incorporating a gratitude practice. Yes, Catchy, you should get it. Check out my site. If you go, and I didn't want to plan to start with this, but if you go to the Mama Love Planner, it's at bit.ly/1H7E, I can't even read backwards, NQL. So it's easy if you take a snapshot. But yes, or you can just go to my site, bellaandthebabe.com. But yes, I do have a planner that's all about mamas and self-care and gratitude, because I have a very strong gratitude practice. I love giving thanks to everything in my life. Thanks to God for everything that I have. And so it's really important that we think about those things on a daily or weekly basis. So anyway, that's about the planner. That was going to be my end thing to talk about. Hello, Life of Steph. But tonight we're talking all about the effect of doing on our children and whether or not it has effect. Hello, Total Package. Thank you so much for joining. So just to give like a little review and introduce myself for those of you that are new to my scope. Hello, my name is Brooke-Sidney. My site is Bella and the Babe, and it's all about empowering authentic motherhood. I'm also the designer and creator of the new Mama Love Planner that we were just speaking of, and I also host this Conscious Parent Book Club, which is what we're talking about tonight. The book is The Conscious Parent, and it's written by Dr. Shefali Tsabary. She has a couple of books which are all about encouraging really the spiritual maturity and growth of parents, the adults. It's more about the adults and less about the children, believe it or not. So yes, the book is The Conscious Parent, and this week we are actually continuing our discussion on chapter 11, which she has titled A Household Built on Being, but I have it titled this second part, really, how are your actions of doing affecting your children? So just if you weren't here last week, what I'll do is give you a quick overview. And just as housekeeping, if there's something that I'm saying that you like or resonates with you, or especially with this book, it makes you say, I don't know, because I always say, take what you can use and discard the rest, right? See what resonates with you and makes sense. But yes, definitely give hearts, double tap the screen to give hearts if something I'm saying even just makes you think, right? Because this is one of those books I think that makes you think. Thanks, Catchy. So last week we really talked about what is the trouble with anxiety and busyness, and how as adults we are preoccupied with going, doing, and being in constant activity. So many of us feel almost every single moment with activity. Catchy says, yeah, a lot of us even take that activity and make that activity be our worth. We base our worth on what we do, how busy we are. You know, most of us, especially in the culture right now, we're so quick to say, how are you doing? I'm busy. You know, I'm busy. And it's like, if you're not busy, then people think you're unproductive or there's something wrong with you. So our culture is really built on busyness, being busy, and not just being. And the interesting thing to note is that our children don't naturally operate that way. They don't naturally come into the world thinking that they're going to be so busy. I am making some soup right now. I'm busy. Haha. Exactly. You know, we're always multitasking, but I love that you, Catchy, please cook dinner. I know it's dinner time. Please cook dinner and please continue commenting because your comments are so helpful. But yeah, like our children don't come into this world naturally in a manic state. They don't come into the world anxious or worried. They come in actually being in the moment, having a childlike spirit, playful. They are in the being mode. It's only until we, you know, influence them that they start to change. And so that's one of the reasons why we're even talking about it, is to really help us think about the effect that that constant activity has on them. So, you know, the other thing that I wanted us to think about, and it's a review from last week, is an encouragement perhaps to ease up on overscheduling. You know, we want to start to have some simple enjoyment of life, like really enjoying the moment with our children. And what's interesting is that, you know, a lot of people will think, well, our kids are young, especially if you have kids that are under 5 or under 6. Ketchy says encouragement. Yes, if they're under 5 or under 6, you know, what difference does it make? Some people think that like it's not they're not necessarily knowing what's going on. But hello, purpose driven. Thank you so much for jumping on. But you know what? If we don't allow our children in these early years, like hello, so glad you've jumped in. If we don't allow them in these early years to just have like play dates and fun and lazy hours, if they're doing something all the time, how will they ever connect with themselves? And Keshe says they may feel it. Exactly. That's the other whole part of it. You know, as parents, and you guys know, we influence strongly by what we say, but we also model for them. So we are strongly influencing them by what we do. So I just thought it was really powerful that if you can think about this, if they don't have any time just to settle and be, you know, play, how do they figure out their likes and dislikes other than the things that we push on them to do? I thought that was really, really, really powerful. You know, it's not giving them any room, right? Any room to like discover themselves, discover who they are, discover, you know, what God put them here to do, like their whole purpose and like what drives them. If we're constantly driving them to do things, how are they going to figure out, you know, you need quiet time. You really do. You need some quiet time. So it was really, really interesting because even as young as under five, studies have shown, and Dr. Shefali was talking about how important it is for them to have this time. But continuing on, one of the things surprisingly that, or maybe not, that this all stems from, Purpose Driven says that's true. Yes, one of the things that it all stems from often is as a parent, we feel incomplete, right? We feel incomplete. We are searching for something. We're not comfortable in ourselves. And one of the things that was talked about in the book a lot was that we have anxiety. Anxiety often manifests itself as doing. You know how when you're anxious about something, you just sometimes go and just start doing things. For some people, that's cleaning. For some people, that's cooking. For some people, it's like creating all new projects, right? We have to go because we're trying to stop our minds or whatever from thinking about whatever is bothering us. So instead of just being with whatever it is, instead of like taking some quiet time, Ketchy says yes, instead of taking some quiet time or, you know, even praying about it, whatever you do in your quiet time, or you just keep being busy. Ketchy says you don't forget to tap. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the hearts, Ketchy. Thanks for reminding. But yes, you know, one of our most common forms of doing is just our inability to just be. It's anxiety. And so we don't want to teach our children that that's how they respond to life's uncertainty or life's challenges, right? One of the things that she said, what I thought this is just brilliant. She says, a conscious parent, a parent that is truly aware and can stop themselves from like doing, they choose to see life's difficulties as an invitation to connect with their resilience. Hi, it's Lonnie. Thanks for joining. They choose to see life's difficulties as an invitation to connect with your resilience. I love that. I love that because it's so true. You know, rather than going, if you can be present, if you can be quiet, if you can be still, then you can figure out how to be resilient. I love that. I actually like that's why this is one of my favorite chapters, because it has a lot of good nuggets in there. She talked about anxiety leading to a lack of focus, and how, honestly, Keshi says, being present. Exactly. You know, anxiety leads to a lack of focus. So, you know, or I'm sorry, a lack focus. So like, instead of focusing on the good in the world, because you're just doing and being busy, all you see is what's not there. And so your children pick up on that. They'll see lack and not abundance when it's abundant all around us, right? Or their anxiety could turn into this need to be perfect. You know, this compulsion to like fix ourselves. So, you know, instead of just being present with ourselves and everything, it can fuel perfectionism, which we know is not good, right? We all know that's not good. Or it can turn into a need to control. So, I really think that this was a really good chapter, because she's showing and talking about the real life effects of what we kind of just do unconsciously, just going and doing. And then I just want to talk about kind of there's like two or three more points. And this is a good review point from last week, was that really the reason why a lot of us are doing this is really crazy. But she says death is the source of our fear of the present, because we haven't come to grips with crazy, right? Because we haven't come to grips with our mortality. We have to go and do. Keji says, wow, right? Like, we live our life pretending that death will evade us, right? That's why we keep doing. That's why, you know, we don't stop and think, you know, because if we thought about, I think about this, if we thought about how our moments and days and hours are not promised, we would spend more time in the present. We would be more present with all of the people that we come into contact with. So that's not exactly what Dr. Shefali said. Keshi says definitely, but that's how I interpreted it. That's how I took it. Like, if we really realized how precious each moment is and how much we're not guaranteed tomorrow, we would really appreciate and be present today. But okay, so I also want to talk about the fact that we want to try to live, right? The goal is to live beyond doing. But in order to live beyond doing, we really have to shift the way we think about things. We have to shift from trying to be in control all the time, trying to cover up our anxiety and cover up our worries. She says, as parents, unless we learn to live from being rather than doing, listening to our own inner voice instead of being driven by external factors, hello, Lady Poe, the parent-child journey will be fueled by anxiety and drama. When we shift from egoic doing to authentic being, our worldview changes. We find ourselves no longer focusing on need, but service, no longer feeling lack, but experiencing abundance, no longer feeling stuck, but flowing, no longer locked in the past, but present now, right? So basically what she is saying is that we have to change our view. We can't have the same worldview and expect our lives to be any different. We can't be going, yeah, Catchy, isn't it a good quote? We can't be going and expecting ourselves to have different values. We can't be going and expect to have better connections with our children, and a better connection with ourselves, God, any of those things, right? If we're going and doing, we're not living in the moment and being present to ourselves, to our children, to anything. And so it requires us, yes, we need to slow down. It requires us to do that. But we all know that it's not an easy shift to make. It's not an easy shift to make, because we know that going and doing is easier. It's the way that the world does it. It's the way that hi Ponto, it's the way that we're often judged. Like I said earlier, that, if you ask someone how they're doing, usually they're saying I'm good, but the next words out are I'm so busy. Like in order to be valuable, you have to be busy and you have to be doing all the time. So it's not going to be a shift. But if we can, hello, thank you so much for joining. But if we can make this shift, and be able to really stop all the doing, stop all the anxiety, stop all of that, then we can help our children. They won't adopt the same thing, because what happens is it's just cycles that repeats. It's generational. Catchy says the society standard is busy equals valuable. Yes, that's so true. When we're invested where our children will end up in life, we impart to them that like time is money. I thought this was so interesting. Instead of teaching them that they should work on the time that they have and use the purpose that they were put here. Instead of thinking, oh, time is money, rush. There's a bigger plan at work. There are bigger things at work. So time is precious, but time isn't necessarily money. Your time should be spent in purpose, so it's two different messages, right? It's two different messages. One teaches, again, time is money, it's lack. It's also very money driven, capitalism driven, versus like time is valuable, time is precious. That's why you want to live on purpose, live within your purpose, do what you're, designed to do by God. Like all of that, that's a whole different sphere. That's a whole different lane. And so I really, really like that. So the last point that I want to talk about, and you guys jump in if you have thoughts or you have questions, don't hold them to the end, like jump on in. So the last point that I feel like is really key is that the moment is now to connect. The moment is now to connect. Oftentimes we put off connection saying, okay, well, next week I'm going to spend some time with my children, or this weekend I'm going to set aside some time to spend with my child and connect. No, we need to do it now. The time is now. I am encouraging, in fact, I'm encouraging and challenging you to put those priorities first. Our children won't be around us forever. Right? Like, yes, Catchy, yes, now, exactly. It's only during the few short years that we have them to ourselves, right, that we can even help awaken in them, their gifting and their inner purpose and all of those things, right? It's their inner cup that they're going to have to dip into when they're older and alone, right? So we have to prepare them now. But the only way that we can truly help prepare them and be that model is to be able to have a good connection with our children. We have to have a good connection with our children, and that's nourished on a daily basis. There's this whole debate about quality time versus quantity time, right? A confirmed word in my life right now. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm great. I'm so glad you're on the scope. Yeah. There's this whole big debate, of course, like a lot of people will say, well, it's the quality. It's not the amount, it's not the quantity of time. Lady Poe says, so true. I did a scope a while about being present. This is a great reminder. Yes, Lady Poe, that's exactly what this scope is about. Hi, Karen. Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, it's both. It really is. It's quality and quantity. True connection. Hi, Karen. True connection comes on a daily basis. We know that. We know that. You can think about it even with your spouse. If you have a spouse that puts you off, or maybe they only connect with you every week or two, right? How great is that relationship going to be, right? It's the same with our children, so it's a daily connection. It's taking that time. So I'm encouraging you all to connect now, and that's going to look like a different thing for each family, for each individual. Kesha says non-existence, right? So, it's going to look like there's not, and that's one of my big things that I teach and talk about, is that there's not a one size fit way to parent. It's not. Because we're all different and we all have different children. And especially for people that have have multiple kids, they know that different kids respond differently. Hi, Fabian. Different kids respond differently to you as a parent, to your parenting style. So oftentimes you have to modify what you're doing for that child. You have to learn your child, right? And so when I'm inviting you to connect in the moment with your children, there's no one size fits all. It's really going to take time for you to figure out what works best for you and what works best for your child or children. Some of the suggestions that, even she gives in the book are that, try to connect every day. Ketchy says very true. When children speak to you, if you can, set aside what you're doing and actually listen to them and look at them. Hi, Jay Chase. Thanks so much for joining. Set aside time to actually look at them and listen to them. We all know how powerful that is. Thanks so much for inviting followers, you guys. Yes, if this is helpful, if you have any mama friends, any parenting friends, please do invite them to the scope. And if something I'm saying is resonating, please double tap the screen. But yeah, one of the suggestions is when your children actually, I know, where is everybody here? Exactly. When children speak to you, if you can, set aside what you're doing and give them your full attention. The other thing you can do is look into their eyes. Look into their eyes when they're speaking. And we all know how powerful it is when someone actually looks us in the eye. So this applies to our children. Another thing you can do is you can greet your child in the morning. You can say nice things to them. You could say I love you. Just all of those things. Even if you're rushing to leave the house, right? Because we all know, even though we're going to try to not do and be, there are going to be moments when we're still rushing. Make it into a game of connection. Make it into having fun with them. Make it a race, right? Kids love fun things. Make it a way to connect. Do. Yes, my husband said your teaching is good. Oh, thanks, Lady Poe. Yes. So, if you see your child during the middle of the day, tickle them, especially if they're small, give them a hug, grab their hand. There's so many ways to connect with our children, right? There's so many ways to connect with our children. And it's so important that we do, because we are teaching them how to connect with themselves and to connect with other people. And we only have a small window to do this, you guys. As they get older, that window shrinks, because they are already they've already had a time when we can really pour into them and teach them a lot. But as they get older, that amount shrinks, right? That amount shrinks. The world has more influence. They're even just developmentally, especially when they enter their teens and they go forward. It's less about us being parent, do, as I say, and really they're looking at us for examples. Don't wait for the connection day, week, or month. Do it now. Exactly, Ketchy. Exactly. So that is my encouragement. I am hopeful that you all will think about it. I'd love to hear how it goes with trying to connect more and slow down a little bit. Maybe now with it's a holiday week. I think that's why it's also a little bit slower on Periscope. I hope people are actually out connecting with their family and friends this week. I'd love to hear next Monday, because this Conscious Parenthood Parent Book Club is every Monday. So I'd love to hear next week how connections went, if you guys tried anything new, if your kids responded well, any of that. It will be great to know. And of course, you can always reach me on, Twitter, my email, and of course, you're on Periscope. Catch this great scope, Brooke. I love your parenting scopes. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you popped on. So yes, we were talking about in the beginning, I do have a Mama Love Planner, and you can check it out. You can take a screenshot, the Mama Love Planner, bit.ly/1H7ENQL. Guys, that's crazy, trying to read it backwards. But you can also just go to my site, bellandthebabe.com. And if you're looking for a mother community, I call mothers mamas, because that's what my child calls me, and I love that name. I think that you should join my mama community. It's free. It's on Facebook, and we talk all about conscious parenting. Hi, Total Package. Hi, you guys that are just now joining. And it's just a place to be supported. So feel free to do that. If you go to my site, it will direct you there, bellandthebabe.com/join. So anyway, this has been a great conversation. I'm so glad that you guys popped in. Definitely, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys next week. Have an amazing, thankful Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family and friends, and I will see you guys next week for this conversation. Great scope. Thank you. Good night, Lady Po. Good night, guys. Thank you. See you later.